Let's get physical. It's Jordan here, back again with this week's episode on all the physical releases coming to the Switch, October 28th until November the 1st. Let's jump in and see what we've got. Farmagia is perhaps the big new game this week. The name might make me chuckle like I've taken some kind of substance, but I think this looks like an interesting release. It's from Marvelous, so they need to make sure it has farming related stuff in it. Basically, you plant seeds that turn into monsters, which you then use to fight other monsters. So it's an RPG, but reminds me a bit of Pikmin, since you have a lot of allies with you that you round up and stuff, or maybe like Overlord Dark Legend. Anyone remember that? The art style is bright and colourful. It's a bit One Piece-ish in terms of character design, at least to me. I'm not sure I like that. But yeah, interesting is the word I would use for this game. Just like, couldn't they have come up with a better name than one that sounds like a kind of cheese? Farmagia, yeah, it's Italian cheese. And my executive producer Jennifer M has chosen this as her pick of the week. And yes, I've got a new logo. Thank you to James is Jim. He came to my rescue and created this wonderful masterpiece. Thank you so much. And if you want to purchase any video game in this episode, then please consider using the links below in the description and pinned comment. That massively helps support me and this series. And VGP are a really nice company with favorable prices in cheap Canadian bucks, plus free worldwide shipping on orders over 80 Canadian dollars, which is only about 60 American bucks. Plus, if you do buy something with my link, then each week you'll be put into a draw to have a chance of winning a $10 discount coupon. And this week's winner is Randy G. Thank you, Randy. Enjoy your $10 discount coupon. And thank you everyone who does purchase via my link. What else do we have this week? Trine Ultimate Collection Physical Edition. Wow, I made a video about this late last week and it is big news. If you want the full lowdown, you really need to check out that video because it is a little bit complicated, but this contains the first 4 games in the Trine series on the cartridge. The last time this released, only the 4th game was on the cart and the rest were download codes. And if you actually wanted to own the first 3 games physically on the Switch, you'd need to pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars for one of the rarer physical releases on the Switch. Well, now you don't have to, since you can get this physical release for just $40 US. And even better, if you buy it with a bundle with 5 included, then you get it for $60 and shipped worldwide for free. Remember, this is exclusive to Video Games Plus. Not bad to catch up with all the games in the series, and they are a bunch of fun games, great co-op, and also something I did forget to mention in the video last week, this is in hand and in stock. They are ready to ship immediately. Apparently they've been sitting on this for a couple of weeks now. Talk about a great shadow drop. And my executive producers Punky Dooster and Robotech have chosen this as their pick of the week. Gori, Cuddly Carnage is releasing physically in North America this week. The European physical release has either been cancelled or put on hiatus due to low pre-order numbers from stores. Anyways, this looks like a really nice throwback game, something you'd find on the PS2 if you mix Tony Hawk's with an action game. Looks like a lot of fun and does have some good reviews, and I will probably purchase this myself once it gets within my budget. It's also releasing physically on PlayStation 5, and my executive producers Super Ben Julio and Thorn Metal Luna have chosen this as their pick of the week. Life is Strange Double Exposure is probably releasing this week. I've seen some places refuse to actually have a proper date for the Switch version, so I'm not entirely sure, but if VGP don't have it, blame them because they still have it listed for this week. Anyways, this is, I think, the 3rd game on the Switch. Someone is dead, your best mate in fact, murdered in the snow, and you have special powers that can open up parallel timelines and you want to solve it and stuff like that. It's supposed to be pretty good for modern people who aren't me. I don't know if all the game is on the cartridge because the series has had a rocky history on the Switch in terms of download requirements, so we'll have to see. It's also going to be available physically on PlayStation 5 and Xbox. And my executive producers Kevin W and Ishin have chosen this as their pick of the week. Real Fishing Days of Summer Is it bad that I'm actually mildly interested in this? I hate fishing, but give me a game with a bit of personality and some key features and you've got my attention. Sega Marine Fishing is the bar. That's like the high bar that's set, it's the greatest fishing game of all time. The game is like perfection. It has an aquarium, and apparently so does this, so you can catch fish and keep them. I am probably going to get this. There is an anime twist, and there's a loose story to stick the whole thing together. I'm looking forward to it, even if it might turn out a bit disappointing, I don't know. Let's face it, it's not going to be Sega Marine Fishing. Nothing is. Even Ocarina of Time isn't Sega Marine Fishing. And this will also be available physically on PlayStation 5. Police Simulator Patrol Officers Nintendo Switch Edition has been available on PS4, PS5 and Xbox for a while now, but now it's the portable console's turn. It even includes some additional content like more police cars to go Nina to, including an adorable mini electric car. I'm just waiting for the golf buggy police because, that's where the serious crimes are committed. I'm sure it'll be decent for what it's going for, but, hardly a AAA title. Why is there no AAA title just being a police officer? It's surely it can be done. If we've got 1 billion Assassin's Creed games, just be a New York cop, like just a proper one. Anyways, World of Goo 2 is releasing physically this week, a great puzzle game, although perhaps leaning too much on the original for inspiration. At least that's what I've seen from reviews of fans of the first game who are eagerly anticipating this. As someone who's never played the first game, probably not an issue for me. My only issue is with the lack of flamethrowers and lasers. I don't think it's going to be like a hugely popular physical release, but still a good one if you're looking for some puzzle action to add to your collection. And my executive producer, God of Resin, has chosen this as his pick of the week. Totally Spies Cyber Mission is releasing in Europe this week. I think North America has to wait until next week because it's microids. This looks like an absolutely shite stealth game with incredibly cheap production values. At least that's what I've seen from the 10 seconds of gameplay they've dared to show in the trailer. I'd love to be proven wrong. Maybe it's a masterpiece, who knows? Maybe it does have flamethrowers. It's also releasing physically on PlayStation 5, and my executive producer, Cartoon Soren, has chosen this as his pick of the week. His money, his choice. Core Keeper is one of those games that feels like it got a physical release already, like one of those million distribution efforts from Limited Run. But no, it's its own thing. It's not Metaverse Keeper, it's not River Bond or whatever, it's Core Keeper, and it's supposed to be a really awesome game. It's released digitally on the Switch a couple of weeks back, PC for a while before then, and it's a sandbox survival game and it can be played multiplayer for up to 8 people to survive together. Which is great. It just means more friends to throw under the bus while you keep on living. It's also releasing on everything: Switch, PlayStation 4, PS5, Xbox, and the Commodore 64. And my executive producer Dane Wilkinson has chosen this as his pick of the week. Monster High Skulltimate Secrets is this week's Outright Game Special. And yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine and probably better than Totally Spies. It's a bit more Halloween-y themed, but I really have nothing else to say about it. Except it's releasing on everything: Switch, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox, and the Magnavox Odyssey 2. Sadly, it's too high-res for the original Odyssey. A quick mention to a few more games. Faith, the Unholy Trinity was pushed back to this week, but it's still a cartridge with the game-breaking glitch on it, so yeah, it's too early for a reprint. Dreadout 2 is releasing in America this week after releasing in Europe last week. And Arsene Lupin Wants a Thief, same situation for this. Should be releasing in America this week after Europe last week. Okay, let's move on to the limited low print releases. But before we do, I want to give you guys a heads up about something I'm involved with coming later today on Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Premium Edition Games are having their latest direct to share with you the latest game announcements and updates on their games. I'll be in the presentation a little bit, and as you may remember last time, I told you there was a game I was heavily involved with, and now the time for the pre-orders, they're gonna be opening like today, okay? The game was teased at the end of the last direct, and it is being officially announced in this direct, and I'm sure you all know what it is, but I really hope you can support it. It's basically the main thing I've been involved in since I started helping out. I haven't had much time to spare, but this is what I'm proud of, and I hope it can be a success. So make sure you're going to be there to watch all the announcements, 8 p.m. Eastern Time today. I will link the direct below. But what about the low prints this week? Well, the Mortuary Assistant is Super Rare's latest game, and one that's perfect for the horror season. With 4,000 copies going up for pre-order on Thursday, that's Halloween, it's the 31st. This is supposed to be a genuinely scary game that's full to the brim with jump scares. Not only do you get to play with corpses, but there's also a horror story in there too. Seems to look okay-ish on the Switch, but definitely not one for those who feel a bit queasy about, things like this, dead bodies and stuff. Interesting, but I might faint while playing it. If you've got a stronger stomach than myself, be there on Thursday, and they'll also have some PlayStation 5 copies available too, which will probably look better and scarier. And my executive producer Fang has chosen this as their pick of the week. Homebody is Limited Run's first game in this episode, and you know what? This looks right up my alley. Well, kinda. It looks like a survival horror game if it was made by Telltale Games. If you don't count, the Walking Dead series, of course. It looks like way more cartoony. You're in a house with a group of friends, and there's a psycho hunting you. Sounds good. If it didn't have the Disney Pixar art style, I'd jump on this immediately. For me, it needs more blocky Jill Valentine and less The Incredibles 2. You can pre-order this right now on Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 5. Valkyria Chronicles 4 Complete Edition is their second game this week, and it's one of those that goes from seemingly, hey, this is pretty good, to it's a bit weird, to what were they thinking? Aside from money, of course. As you probably know, there is already a physical release of the incredible Valkyria Chronicles 4 on Nintendo Switch. In fact, you can get a brand new sealed copy from VGP for $28, like right now. But why do that when you can pay limited run games $60? So, more than double in order to get the complete edition, which includes all the DLC on the cartridge. Actually though, their replies on Twitter say the main DLC, which I don't know if that indicates any kind of secondary DLC. I don't know. Will that be included? Is there secondary DLC? Is there any non-main DLC? It's really weird wording. Anyways, $60 fellas. You ain't gonna win people over with that price. If it was 40, I could see that working as a nice bit of value for the consumer. A nice thing for those who want, a fully preserved edition with no updates needed. But charging as though it's a full-price brand new release without a hint of awareness, it just screams of a company and a CEO who have been swallowed up by their own propaganda. I am sure they thought they would be paraded through the streets in an open-top bus celebration for this due to them being the saviors of physical media, but I think most people are just a bit perplexed. It's even funnier that there's an Xbox version, which is literally almost always $5. In fact, I'm pretty sure VGP have it for $5. If they don't have it for $5 now, they have previously, like a couple of weeks back. Anyways, there are various overpriced editions available to pre-order right now, of which some are more expensive than the original collector's edition, which was widely considered to be overpriced at the time too. So, yeah, good luck with this limited run, good luck. Alright, let's jump into the import section. Yeah, Play Asia territory. You can also support me via Play Asia. If you click the links down below for these, then you can also get 5% off with my discount code Jordan24. But please remember to click the link first. Anyways, it's a fairly big week for imports, I would say. Clock Tower Rewind, that's the big one for me. It's releasing in Japan and Asia this week with English on the cartridge. You may remember Limited Run did pre-orders for this a while back. Well, if you missed that, then don't worry, you can get this version, which, if I'm being honest, I love the box art way more. Like, way more than the crap new Western anime style they put on limited runs. I know that's part of the remaster, but I just don't care for it. I'm all about the classic art, okay? And this is a classic horror game. It was one of the very first survival horror games, and it's kind of like a point-and-click game as you try to escape from a scissor-wielding psycho in a mansion. I hope to have a video about this later in the week. It looks fantastic, and I really can't wait. If you missed Limited Run's release, well, get this one, okay? And my executive producers, Dave Hustwaite and Brent McLean, and you know what? I'm introducing a new feature, Jordan's Pick of the Week. Yeah, I'm joining in too. This is my pick of the week as well. Shogun Showdown is a pretty big indie game. It's got thousands of overwhelmingly positive reviews over on Steam since it released just a couple of months back out of early access. Everyone is calling this the brand new essential indie game, perfect for the Nintendo Switch with a focus on samurai badassery. I've seen people call it a breath of fresh air, which means, of course, it's a roguelike deck builder. When is that air gonna get stale for everyone else? Okay, I'm a miserable git. I think this is going to be a big import. It's an exclusive to the region. There's no Western physical release, at least not one that's been announced as of yet. And it does have English. And my executive producers, Alexander Kato and my manager Panvey, they've chosen this as their pick of the week. Kemco RPG Selection Volume 8 is releasing this week, and it's perfect for the Halloween season as it's rocking a lovely, fashionable pumpkin orange sleeve this season. This contains 4 budget JRPGs in Monster Viator, which I want to call Monster Violator, Crystal Author, Armed Emeth, and Justice Chronicles all play in English. Interestingly, this is the first Kemco release in a while that does not have the next one lined up and dated already, so we are on a bit of a cliffhanger as to whether we will see Volume 9. I'm sure we will, it's just a matter of when. But my executive producers, Josh Foote, Dave Horwath, and Issa have chosen this as their pick of the week. Wolfgang / Skullfang Saturn Tribute Boosted is releasing in Japan this week. According to the Japanese eShop, there will be English. I was worried since it's City Connection and they usually go to the dark side by being lured into taking English out so Limited Run or Clear River Games can have it. But no, this is a double pack of arcade games. One is a mech run and gun, the other is a shooter, and they look pretty badass. This is coming in a standard edition as well as a special edition which includes a soundtrack CD, presumably with the new arranged music, and also an official fan book, whatever that means, and it's also releasing on PlayStation 5. Raiden NOVA is releasing physically in Japan this week. I believe the Western physical is due for next month, and this is a brand new entry in the twin-stick vertical shooting gameplay style, and perhaps it's a little bit of everybody is here syndrome since you can control any ship from the Raiden series. I have to admit, I've never really played any of them, at least not for more than 5 minutes, so I can't offer much more to this discussion. But all I'll say is, you might as well wait for the Western release, okay? Japan is also getting these 2 games, neither of which have English. Alright, let's jump into the community spotlight. Just a quickie this week since I don't have a whole lot of time. Executive producer Dave Horwath sent in this photo picking up the Super Deluxe Edition of Wizardry from Japan. Remember, Limited Run are taking pre-orders for this now, and it's coming out in Europe soon. Executive producer Instacritic sent in this photo, once again with a lot of obscure stuff. The middle bottom is Iki Unite, an import exclusive with English. It's like Vampire Survivors, but you can have a dozen people playing at once. Executive producer Lewis K sent in this photo, picking up a couple of JRPGs, and one most definitely not JRPG, but still good anyways. Reviews have been universally great for all 3 games, so yeah, good choices. Choco Loco James sent in this photo with the Japanese edition of Snufkin. Again, Limited Run are doing this in North America, and there will be a European retail release very soon. That's becoming a bit of a pattern now. Jeannie and Alan sent in this photo picking up a bunch of low print releases. Very jealous of Persona. I'm always so busy trying to promote the restocks of them on VGP. I don't have time to actually buy them myself. I'd rather earn money than spend money. Executive producer Kevin W sent in this photo picking up a couple of Legend of Heroes games. Always nice to see them being popular. Sadly, not very popular was Sky Oceans. I kind of saw that coming, but I enjoyed it more than I thought I would, even though, it's not great. Robin H sent in this photo picking up Princess Peach Showtime. Didn't really see this a whole lot in the spotlight section when it released. I guess, 35 to 40-year-old dudes aren't the main audience, unlike mine. Shawnathon sent in this photo picking up some games perfect for the Halloween season. The Tartarus Key was the first super rare game that I bought in like a 6-year gap or something. Super Ben Julio, my executive producer, sent in this photo picking up the Retro Realms double pack. I wonder if this does well. Maybe they'll end up doing one with, Friday the 13th and maybe Nightmare on Elm Street. That'd be cool. Yum Yum Game showed off a double support for the double protagonists of the East Nordics 10 game. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm getting lightheaded. But either way, it looks very lovely indeed. I like the cover art for this one. Clara S sent in this photo showing off the big bosom edition of Lollipop Chainsaw. I heard this port is not great sadly, but even the higher powered consoles like the PS5 as well, they have their troubles too. It seems like a fun game, but not a lot of polish with this remaster. Is it even a remaster or just a port? I don't know. Cresalac sent in this photo picking up Turok 3. Man, come on Japan, come on Asia. I know the Japanese don't give a monkeys about Turok, but give me a triple pack, I would buy that instantly. Executive producer Vei, my man in Japan, sent in this photo picking up Rabi Ribi. Remember, this will get a Western physical release in North America sometime next year, but you can only order it from Sekai's website, at least for the moment. Executive producer Thorn Metal Luna sent in this photo with a couple of greats. I'm talking about the cover art for Taboo Trial. Just think, like in 2,000 years from now, some dude is gonna dig this up in an excavation, and just imagine the theories they will have. Executive producer Precision Plague sent in this photo picking up Swords of Ditto, which, I haven't seen that in like donkey's years. Radio to Rancid sent in this photo picking up a big bunch of super rare releases, some of their more recent efforts. It seems last week I was mistaken. It was not Little Gulp Man, it was Guardsman. Of course, it makes sense now. Executive producer Ishin sent in this photo with the deluxe edition of Tomb Raider. Why did no one tell me it was golden? I thought it was just yellow. That is a PR failure, ladies and gentlemen. Tell me it's gold and shiny and I will buy it. Executive producer Feig sent in this photo showing off a bunch of visual novels, most of which are import exclusives. So many. In fact, I have another visual novel video in the works, but it's even more niche than the last one, so I'm not anticipating a whole lot of views, at least not straight away. That's one for, long-term engagement. Executive producer Cartoon Soren sent in this photo of one of or two of Super Rare's games. Not one of their latest ones, but an interesting double pack of games that are far too hip and cool for myself. I don't get it, but for fans of them, supposedly really good. All right, let's have a roundup. Remy, Riggs 231, Starvey, McLaren, Scumbag, Mickey McFlynn, Little Cat, Shell, Robert M, Devil Angel, Andrew R, Reg, Danielle O, Stefan N, Evil McLeod. Alright, send me your pictures on my Twitter, So What About Game. You can DM me, or you can use the email address that's probably far more popular nowadays. You know how Twitter is. You can send it to switchwatchspotlight@gmail.com, and the Discord, the server link should be below. Submit it in the submission section. But only one picture per week, guys, okay? As always, special thanks to my executive producers. They're even more meaningful now that they are mine, all mine. Dane Wilkinson, God of Resin, Boombox, Brent McLean, Alexander Cato, JCross7776, Punky Dooster, Cartoon Soren, Robotech, Raven Knight, Thorn Metal Luna, Issa, They, Offone, Instacritic, Precision Plague, Alex M, Feig, Josh Foot, Ishin, Lewis K, Kevin W, Jennifer M, Super Ben Julio, Dave Hustwaite, and my other double Dave, Dave Hallworth. Thank you so much for your support. If you want to join them, check the Patreon link below for the Let's Get Physical producer role. It's the last one. It's the more expensive one, okay? I'm sorry, it's just how it is. You get priority in the community spotlight, you get your pick of the week, and you get your shout out. Plus, my unconditional love for you as well. So 4 things really. And I also love you guys. If you're watching right now, if you enjoy listening to me ramble like unconditionally, then you know, thank you too. You help this series as well. But I need to know who you are. If you watched all the way through, please leave me a fish emoji in honor of real fishing, okay? I'm gonna pray that's good. Real fishing, it's gotta be real, right? Go check out some of our other stuff. Watch the Trine video I made last week for the full explanation. And of course, the Premium Edition Games Direct is happening very soon with the link below in the description. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you can support especially the first game that showed off, because that's the one that I have helped out with the most, okay? Have a good day. Take care.